Hey, you go out in the hangar and you modify a real airplane and you're not certified, you could go to jail. But consider modifying your home simulator rig and upgrade the performance of the parts. I will tell you, it's not just a good idea, it's an exceptional way to get the most out of your flight sim at home. Stick with me on the pilot's perspective and I will show you what I've done, and maybe you'll see things a little differently on your rig. Let's go. When I started to put together this flight sim for me, and it expanded to do this for you, I consulted my son, my engineer, my producer. And yes, he has got me into an i9-9900 based computer. I'm running an RTX 3060 Ti, and I'm able to get the maximum out of, let's say, Flight Sim 2020 and DCS. But when I touch and interface with that great core system, I'm going to be touching the throttle and the stick. I didn't skimp either. I have chosen THRUSTMASTER's hands-on throttle and stick Warthog system. I love it, and it's endorsed by my old employer and boss, which makes me exceptionally happy. THRUSTMASTER Warthog throttle and stick feels really good in my hands. This throttle quadrant here feels very familiar and very comfortable. It only had one problem. When I was going to afterburner, which is fun, you had to lift the throttles to go up and over the hump. That's not how real airplanes are. You just push through. So I did a little research and I found that this little piece right here, this is the factory piece that controls that, can be modified. And I was able to, by the way, my first successful 3D printing. I think the aviation gods were smiling on me, but I was able to print a new throttle gate push-through thingy made of plastic on my 3D printer. And boy, that now feels good. Definitely gives me the good interface between the flight sim and my flying experience. The next piece of this THRUSTMASTER system is the stick. And I will tell you right now, to me, this is one of the most fantastic flight sticks. And I've only had a few over the years. This is a licensed replica of the A10 Warthog stick. It's licensed by the Air Force, right there on the box. And I'll tell you right now, this thing feels good in my hand. It has all the right buttons in all the right places, and the muscle memory says, hey, this can help me enjoy this experience. There's only one issue. You can kind of see, and let me bring you back up here. I've cut out this gaming chair right here, and I've got a good placement for this stick, but it's too low. So I have ordered, and it came today. And I'll tell you what, I am going to crack this thing open right now. And this is from CD-ROM Incorporated in Fort Myers, Florida. And I bought this online, and on the side here it says THRUSTMASTER Warthog HOTAS. I've got the spring, the extension, and the cable for my system. Some paperwork and instructions, which definitely I'll take a look at. Nicely wrapped. This has been carefully given to me. Here is the spring. Why a new spring? When you put an extension on this, the lever is, well, more powerful. So to keep that same feel, you increase the spring tension, and it maintains that good flight stick feel. You know, this is an aluminum extension. That's fantastic. In my case, I don't need an elbow that bends. They do make those, and maybe for your situation that's more appropriate. Here is the extension cable to connect things up. So things look good. I will continue taking a look at this, and we'll get back to it. But this stick modification and this throttle modification are gonna, I believe, completely change the experience. Just bring it up another notch. I can't imagine, with the money I've spent on the rig so far, not putting a little extra money onto some of these things to just make your experience that much better. Okay, we're here on the shop floor. It's just the carpet area right behind my flight sim. But I want you to see how simple this is. Literally, an aluminum extension tube. It'll just thread right there on the base. Your stick will go right here on top. This extension will connect the two electrical parts. And this spring, you take out these, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8 screws. This lifts up. This goes in, that goes back down, and you're literally back in business. So the first thing I'm gonna do is replace this mainspring. Okay, here we go. Shop room floor. Got my trusty toe holding one side down, and there it is, just that easy. Off, old spring out, new spring in, button her back up. Just that easy. So it took 2 hands to kind of get it going, but what I want to show you is there are little registration pins to help you get this thing lined back up. And when you do, look, there's the screw hole. I've already started a couple. Simple. It's all, I don't want to say dummy proof, because you got to kind of make sure you put it together right, but it goes all back together as easy as it came apart. Don't be scared. Once I got the 4 screws back in, just replace the nice trim cover, reverse the process, put your little 8 little screws that hold the trim plate in, and we will get to the extension and the cable. This is going very well. Once you get the trim cover back on, grab the 5-pin connector. Ooh, get that focused. There we go. Make sure that you get the 3 on one side and the 2 on the other. You get the little marks lined up. Here we go. Yep, went in nice. Simply slip the aluminum extension. I've chosen the 10 centimeter. That's going to work perfect for my setup. And just tighten it on. I can feel it. There it is. Snug it up. And here we go with the stick back on. So I've got the stick back together and I've put it in my rig. I've got it hooked back up to the base computer, checked it out. It works really well. I've got it dialed in and I've done a couple initial tests to make sure it works. When you get this set up, make sure it feels good to you. For me, I had to have this feel right. And so when I put this together, I went to my local thrift store. I got a gaming seat. And I think you can see here, I've made a cutout down here so I can get the stick in the appropriate position. This extension, the spring, and the cable make it so that the height of the stick is perfect. I lay my forearm on my leg. If you were actually flying a high performance or a fighter airplane, and it had a stick here in between your legs, you would need that when you were pulling G's, and your hand would need to just fit nicely your seat height with your arm on your leg. Perfect. I've got this measured out. This is working great. Of course, I've got my throttle here on the left. This is going to give me that interface, the feeling of being in the real aircraft as I go through the different scenarios. As I have looked through my pilot perspective eyes and just taken a little time to set things up, I have created an interface with a gaming system that helps me go back and enjoy flying at a higher level. A few dollars to upgrade an already really nice system. Boy, I'm already enjoying this. The stick has full throw, no binding. The only difference between the factory THRUSTMASTER HOTAS Warthog stick and this one with the extension is it gets a little more throw to get the same amount of movement on the aircraft in the computer. But I'll tell you what, you can manipulate and map your throttle and your stick and get it dialed in just how you like it. And I am really enjoying this. Stick with me on the pilot perspective. We'll do more things like this. And if you like this kind of content and it's relevant to your rig and the things you're thinking about, like, subscribe, stick with me, and I'll see you the next time on The Pilot's Perspective.